Hyperbolic Jim, Hyperbolic Jim.
Yes, this is the Hyperbolic Jim and Terry show where one thing you're guaranteed. We have fun. We have coffee. Sometimes we spew our coffee.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you put in that coffee.
I don't know.
See, the trouble with this is the trouble. And this is why
you have trouble,
I
my
don't
friends.
have good
Trouble right
this
here in
is
River
why
City.
wait. This is why I don't have good sleeps, because this is me when I had a good sleep. This is me, and I bounce off walls.
You do. So you gotta put a seatbelt on you and tie you down so you don't bounce off the walls. Well, we do have a padded room here, and maybe that's the reason for the acoustic tiles.
This is a bomb shelter. What are you talking about? You?
Oh wow!
What do you call it? Jelly spine or no? It's jellyfishy.
The Hobbit Hole Studio.
You're down here all the time, aren't you? The heck with the family. They can get lost.
That's
in the
right. But you notice I don't have canned goods or bottled water or anything, so it's not really built.
Well, what's behind that trap door, right?
It's the one in the ceiling you got to be worried about when you're walking in the kitchen and you pull the switch. Yeah, the Jim and Terry show, where Have You Heard is simply all that we do. We're two retired guys with points of view. Have you heard? What's on the news? What have you heard on the radio? And we can change. We can change our views, and we don't stick to claims of truth. And then maybe that's where we were going to go. I'm not sure.
I don't know where we were going to go.
Come on.
I have no stinking idea where we were going to go.
Mind you, I've got a coffee. Okay.
I think at this day and age, if you wanted to make a subject, I find anxieties trying to creep in, and I think we're doing it to ourselves. With
too much.
Well, interesting stuff can be a little stressful. I like to watch
It's addictive.
Police pullovers of cars and stuff.
You got that.
And lots of times they're just the people are unreasonably fighting them.
Yeah.
I saw one the other day where a woman got pulled over. She was all nervous, and the police is going, "Please, ma'am, calm down. I'm going to let you go." That's what he said. I'm just going to warn you. The guy beside him said something, and the officer looked and said, "Oh, and what's your name?" "I don't have to give you my name." He says, "Well, sir, you didn't have your safety belt on." "I had it on." "No, you didn't." "What's your name?" Wouldn't do it. Turns out, car's loaded with his dope. If he had just said, "My name's Barry," Jeepers creepers, and I'm sorry, I forgot to put it on. The cop said, "I'm going to let you go." And they ended up car towed, the whole thing, right? Dogs walking around it, the whole bit. And I don't know my point. But I watched that and I'm going, that's part of the anxiety. I end up at the end of the day wondering why I'm laying in bed, my eyes are open going, how could that guy be so stupid? He just ruined his girlfriend's life. And then you watch the whole political thing unwinding, and they're telling a lie, and you're knowing 50% of the population still is believing that lie, when all you have to do is the slightest, minute, little teeny, mini investigation, and you'll find that that's not what was said or done. But you'll say it, and they'll say it, and that, I think it causes stress.
We never quite wound up the episode where we were talking about how you tell truth. Is it a gut reaction? How do you
tell truth? Well, that's very complicated, because we were talking about warring spirits.
Yes.
The Holy Spirit is...
Well, truth and lies are incompatible. Oil and water, incompatible.
Yeah. So if it's... you can't be truth and lie, right? So we were talking earlier about you can't win at the expense of lying.
Yes.
Now you can do that, but the two just really, if it's the truth, it's the truth. You're not lying.
Yeah.
So you can win that argument if it's the truth. If you're winning that argument and it's a lie, well, I don't know what you've won. What's a man to gain if he gains the whole world and loses his soul?
That's right. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. All I know is that there's some strange beliefs out there of people saying they believe things that are obviously, to me, and I'm not arguing that the Holy Spirit is the convicting of truth and separating truth and lies. I'm just saying it's apparent to me that what you're saying, it's like Alex Jones and Sandy Hook. It's obvious to me that if you believe Alex Jones, then there's swampland in Florida for you to buy too.
Yep. Yeah.
Because you've bought into the big conspiracy theory stuff.
And the thing is you may be fooled.
Yeah.
But once you find out, As we talked about in a previous show, a lot. Maybe we didn't. Maybe it was offline. But I said your book that says everything Trump touches dies. Well, the court's going to put a contempt of court order out, and so you're going to have a rough time getting to the president. But that judge wants the name of everybody involved in their decision to send these people to El Salvador. So where you'll start is right down to the guy on the tarmac, to the next person, to what did the pilot know, what did they know, and then work your way up that way. So a warning to my brothers and sisters in the faith: watch out if you're dealing with the Antichrist. Watch out, you're going to get burned.
Okay, that's a fair play. Yeah, the whole idea of doing your own research was I don't know if we'll get dinged again for a QAnon thing. You had to do your own digital soldier work. You had to get in there, find your own sources. And I'm thinking that is the undoing of the whole thing, is when you are trying to say that everybody has their own responsibility to find their own truth. So millions of really people going off in millions of directions and all claiming to be truth. I'm thinking, no, there's one agreed upon truth. Unless you're Kellyanne Conway and Trump 1.0 and you say to the news gaggle gathered outside the White House, we have alternative facts.
Yeah, the alternative facts.
The alternative facts line has been used ever since.
What swayed me was the words that's literally come out of people's mouths that are not just AI, but are mainstream news and around the entire world. Such things as Trump saying to his rally, telling those people you're going to have to fight like hell or you're going to lose this country. Right. You're going to have to fight like hell. And then him even actually trying to get to that rally to lead them on the insurrection.
We forget he tried to grab the steering wheel.
He tried to grab the country, Terry. which he's
By
doing
the what?
Yeah, he's trying to grab the country. And also, we remember also at that meeting, they didn't have the detectors to detect if anybody was bringing in weapons.
He said, why would I be afraid? They're not here to get me.
No, get me.
Well, that rope was for Mike Pence.
Yeah, and there's a perfect example. It said that. And then everything is fine and dandy. It was just a love fest where how many 6 died, where either at the site or later.
So despite all this stuff,
people on the windows and smashing windows and running through halls, all that was our imagination.
It was a feces smearing picnic.
Yeah. All of that is our imagination. But so quickly, somehow, some people think, oh, no, that was all AI generated. No. It really, same as the earth is, I promise you, it's round. The earth is round. You can still talk to as many people as you want who think it's flat.
I think Trump supporters do think it's flat because it is all started the same kind of thing.
Well, the idea is you got to come to a place where you say it's a lie.
You would think.
Yeah. And then either don't talk about it.
Yeah, so we can agree upon something being true and factual, or we have no commonality, no basis on which to speak and discuss things.
That's why we need the rule of law.
Yes.
Without the rule of law, it all unravels.
That's right.
And it even has to include the highest position in the country because it's supposed to be a country of the people.
So here's the ironies. The Republicans, which prided themselves on being the party of rules and law and order and pro-military, is now the party of Putin. And the number of times we've heard, and you can prove it with
Was that a slip? You said Putin.
Yeah, no. The party of Putin. Okay. The GOP is the party of Putin. So Russia, yes, it's still there, and it's measured in the words that we use to discuss things. So, and again, we'll just fly through this. If you're supporting Russia in the Ukraine war, you've got a problem with truth and reality.
Absolutely.
But people still do.
And you had a year of seeing the military amass, the Russian military amass on the border.
Yes, we saw that.
And you had a year of people saying, don't you dare go and attack that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. And then funny, bang, an attack. And Trump says Ukraine shouldn't have picked a war with a country 20 times
you
bigger
weren't holding
than them.
The cards.
Yeah, you weren't holding the cards.
The Russian, since this is an Easter theme, we'll throw in this one. The Russian patriarch, not oligarch, that's a different story. The Russian patriarch, who's the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, has been blessing all the atrocities and raising his blessing to all the Russian, who is it, prisoners that they rounded up for the next tranche of fighters. We're going to empty the jails. We're going to put them all in uniform and throw them at whatever. The Russian patriarch is blessing the Russian
Well, you have
war
to,
crimes.
you'll end up falling out of a building.
That,
So that's why you
the
take your
spire of
robes
the
off, you
church.
walk away and just go and worship.
Yes.
As opposed to having to fall for that
Yes.
crap.
Yeah.
No pun.
No pun intended.
Fall for that crap.
Oh, geez. Well, whether it's falling from a spire if you're the Russian patriarch or you're...
Let's talk about China next.
Okay, I think that's what we were going
were
to talk
gonna do
about.
that, yes.
I think that's what you had in mind.
I think I
but-
dragged you away.
Ah, you did, but we're going off, madly off in all directions. Maybe it's too much
Hyperbolic.
chocolate.
I learned a new
You had
word.
Easter
Hyperbolic,
eggs.
hyperbolic.
Repeat it often enough and you'll get it. Bye-bye for now. Jim and Terry Show, signing out.
I don't wanna carry this load. Though the sweat of my brow